KTLA5 Sports Final, powered by your Southern California Ford dealers.
And we welcome you to our special edition of the Ford Sports Final. I'm Darren Horton, joined once again by former NBA All-Star Reggie Theus. We'll get to the madness momentarily, but first, Los Angeles basketball lost a legend today. Reggie, what did Elgin Baylor mean to basketball? What did he mean to this city?
You know, being from L.A., watching the Lakers as a kid, sneaking inside the Forum to watch the Lakers play, I mean, you know, think about the athleticism that he brought to the game and changed really the way people were looking at that position. He was so athletic. He brought so many new things to the game itself. And that when he went for his jump shot, he always took his guide hand away and finished with one hand. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Heck of an athlete. Yeah. And, you know, more than anything, Darren, he's a nice guy. Just a really nice guy, somebody that's soft-spoken and talked to me on many occasions. I got to know his wife, Elaine, and him at the games, and it was pretty amazing.
Well, we're going to pay tribute to him a little bit later on in the show. We have much more to get to with Reggie on Elgin's life and legacy in just a bit, but we begin with the NCAA tournament, and it's been good times here in L.A. watching the Bruins and the Trojans both rolling into the round of 32. And seemingly with each game, it's getting easier. The Trojans cruised over Drake in the opener, but tonight against Kansas, we were expecting a battle as the Mobley brothers took on the Jayhawks. And you talk about passing the test. Trojans dominant from start to finish. And it was the older Mobley who did the damage. Isaiah showing off the range. SC punches Kansas in the mouth. Lead up to 11 at that point. The brothers Mobley, a tandem to be reckoned with. Evan, yes, he is his brother's keeper. The putback slam. Then on the other end, the defense was smothering Evan with one of his 3 blocks. Jayhawks shot just 25% in the first half. Isaiah unveiled the full repertoire. The step-back 3 was 4 of 5 from deep. SC up 19 at the break in the second half. They stomped him out. Big game for Isaiah White, one of his 3 triples. Trojans up 23. Later, Evan double team. Look at the dime. Chavez Goodwin for the bang. Trojans hand Kansas their worst loss in tournament history. It's back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2007, 85-51, the final. The Trojans dominating this game in nearly every facet, nearly doubling up the Jayhawks in field goal percentage, shooting 37% better from three-point land, while also owning the paint on both sides of the ball.
It feels excellent. Like I've been saying this whole time, this is an opportunity that everybody dreams for. I'm glad that we made it. Our whole team is extremely, extremely excited. I think we could just carry this momentum throughout the tournament and make an even deeper run.
Oh, well, this game meant a lot to our program and to our fans. USC basketball is on the rise. Over the last 80 years, it's been like a roller coaster. A lot of great players, great coaches, great teams, but we're trying to sustain the success, build the program and sustain the success. And I think beating a team like Kansas to go to the Sweet 16 is a step in the right direction.
West Region, Luka Garza in second seed at Iowa, taking on Oregon, a 7 seed. Back and forth they went first half, final 2 minutes. LJ Figueroa knocks down the 3. Ducks went on a 10-0 run to end the half. Second half, Chris Duarte right down Broadway for the bang. Ducks advanced to their 4th Sweet 16 in their last 5 tourneys, 95-80. The final, and look at what lies ahead for the Trojans, a rematch against one of their Pac-12 rivals, the Oregon Ducks, a team they beat handily during the regular season. You know, Reggie, a lot of people like USC, but did you see this coming? I mean, what were they doing defensively that confused Kansas?
Well, first of all, Isaiah just went off early in the game. 4 for 5 from the three-point line, and then just everybody just started free swinging with the game itself. Kansas, they were never in the game. It was just a complete USC game from day one. You think about defensively how long they are, bodying up, making it every shot that Kansas had. They had a hand in the face. They had 2 hands in the face. There was nothing that wasn't uncontested. Even right here, nice pass, but good help on the backside. Another baseline drive, hand in the face. The Mobley brothers were everywhere, and all of the supporting cast at the same time. Look at how they're scrambling defensively. You know, this is a team that led the Pac-12 in defense, and they really carried it over tonight. And it was just nice to watch because they had such a beautiful stroke going on. 61% from three-point line. It's something that they don't do very well is shoot threes. So today was impressive.
It's fascinating because we talk about their length and the inside play, but tonight you saw some depth from outside, their ability to hit the three ball.
Yeah. Well, when you think about their depth in general, you start thinking about, how they want to play. They want to play fast, but then they threw the zone on them, and there was nothing that Kansas could do with the zone. You think about all of the things you look at. Boom. This is what got it started right there, Isaiah Mobley. And then again, everyone started getting into it. They shot 61% from the three-point line, 58% for the game. It was just, they put on a clinic. I'm so proud of Coach Enfield and what he's done since he's been here. It's been amazing. It's been a great ride. And as we said the other night, come on, bring it on. Bring it on.
And the story is not finished being written. We have plenty more basketball now to the Bruins, who are writing their own Cinderella story from a 4-game losing streak heading into the tournament, where they had to fight through the first 4 to get into the field of 64, but then they came into their own. Since the second half of that Michigan State game, they have been next to impossible to stop. This afternoon, taking on Abilene Christian. Bruins trying to get back to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017. First half action, Johnny Juzang can't find the bucket. Cody Riley mops up the bucket, the foul. And then later, Jake Kyman open for the 3. This is all part of an 18-0 run. The Wildcats would counter with a run of their own. This is Damian Daniels' 3. This capped a 7-0 run. Bruins up 10 at the break. Second half action. UCLA put on a clinic. Jaime Jaquez with a block on the other end. Juzang buries the 3. He finished with 17. The Bruins were fantastic on the boards. Jaquez, the offensive board. Look at the ball movement here. The possession ends with a David Singleton 3. They had 14 second chance points. Later, it's Singleton with the lob to Riley. The big man finished with a double-double. Bruins dancing their way to the Sweet 16, 67-47. The final, the defensive effort by UCLA was one of the difference makers. They out-rebounded the Wildcats by 11. With the boards came second chance points, which favored the Bruins 14-5. Defense also held ACU to just 30 from the field, 21% from three-point land.
The guys are just excited. This is March Madness, so we just locked in, and we saw that they beat Texas, so we had a lot of respect for them from the jump, and knew what they're capable of defensively. So we tried our best not to turn the ball over and share the ball and make good team plays.
We've continued to try to get better at the things that go into winning, whether it's executing and taking care of the ball on offense, being physical and rebounding, and being the better defensive teams. We've embraced that since the halftime of the Michigan State game. Defense is why we're alive, and defense is why we'll survive.
East Region, 10th-seeded Maryland against 2nd-seeded Alabama, the winner to get UCLA, and Bama came out dropping bombs all night long. Second half, that's John Petty stepping into a 3. Next trip down, it's Petty again, corner pocket. That's good. Later, Jayden Shackelford with the quick trigger, and this would cap a 14-0 run, roll tide. Bama shot 48% from beyond the arc. They go on to win it 96-77. So here is the updated bracket in the East. 11-seeded Bruins move into the Sweet 16, where they will meet the 2-seed Alabama on Sunday. The winner of that one gets the winner of the Michigan-Florida State game. And Reg, you alluded to it on Friday that this UCLA team was kind of finding its stride. Yeah. What is it that you've seen them do these last couple of games?
Well, even Coach Cronin said the second half of the Michigan State game, they really started to believe in themselves and started to believe that they can get this done in another way, and that's through their toughness. So that's what I see with UCLA. And, they just were just so much bigger, so much stronger than Abilene. It wasn't even funny. Abilene stung Texas with their scrambling defense. Look at this. They're great rotations. They create havoc on the defensive end, just bodying up and being physical. And I think that really pushed them forward against Texas. It kind of caught them off guard. But then even Cody Riley said that they saw what they did to Texas. But when it was all said and done, it's just too much size, too much athleticism. They really treated them poorly through most of the game.
USC's bigs have gotten all of the accolades in town. But Cody Riley played a big game today. And the UCLA guys, they were all over the boards. They used their size. They rebounded the ball. Where's this coming from, Reg?
Well, it's team. You know, it's March Madness. It's team. It's what the coach has been preaching all year long that's starting to really, you know, the best teacher is success. And UCLA has had some success, and now they're reaping the benefits of it. And you think about the way they play. They move the ball. They have multiple ball movements. They have body movements. They really do play well as a team. And they've been solid from the inside outside. Obviously, Hawkes has been phenomenal with his play. Juzane has been awesome, but it's not just those guys, it's everybody, and they utilize their size tonight, and it was nice to see, because I was a little worried that they might get caught off guard, but nah, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal story that's being written by Mick Cronin and his Bruins. More action from the East bracket. 1 seed, Michigan, 8th seeded, LSU. Close game, 8 minutes to go. Sean D. Brown hits the 3, corner pocket, 4-point lead, capped a 9-0 run. Final 2 minutes, Michigan up 8. Down court they go to Franz Wagner for the dunk. Michigan wins it 86-78. West Region, number 1 overall seed Gonzaga, taking on Oklahoma. Huge game for Drew Timme. Look at the circus shot there and the foul. 30 points, 12 boards for the big man. Over 4 to go. Zags up 10. Future lottery pick Jalen Suggs. Hard to the rack. Switches hands. How pretty is that? Zags, they win it 87-71. They're headed off to their 6th straight Sweet 16, where they will meet Creighton. East Region, number 5, Colorado, taking on the 4 seed Florida State. Buffs careless with the ball all game long. First half, Anthony Polite with the steal, and then on the other end, cashing in with a jumper. Colorado with 11 turnovers in the first half, and the problem persisted in the second half after a 10-second violation. It's Polite again. FSU knocks off the first Pac-12 team of the tournament. They beat them, Colorado, they beat them 71-53. Plenty more still to come. We will remember the life of a Los Angeles legend, the great Elgin Baylor. And it was a work night for the Clippers. Atlanta in town. We got highlights. David Pingalore will join us also for a live report. You're watching the Ford Sports Final.
Pull it as hard as you can. Pull it.
Yeah, the NBA and the City of Angels lost a pioneer. Former Lakers superstar and Clipper executive Elgin Baylor died this morning at home of natural causes. Many of today's fans never saw him play, which is a shame because his career set the parameters for what is now considered the modern game. He was the man who introduced the young NBA to something called body control. The high-flying, electrifying moves commonplace in today's game were sketched and created 60 years ago by a superior talent known as Elgin Baylor. If one was to trace his impact through the generations, the line would arguably start with Baylor and extend through Dr. J to Michael Jordan and finally to Kobe and other modern hardwood disciples. Baylor joined the then Minneapolis Lakers in 1958. 2 years before the franchise moved to Los Angeles. He was a dazzling presence who, along with Wilt Chamberlain, set new standards for scoring. He dropped 71 in one regular season game, and his 61 points against the Celtics in 1962 still stands as a finals record. An 11-time All-Star over 14 seasons, he chalked up over 3,600 assists and 11,000 rebounds to go with those 23,000 career points, and he did it all as an undersized 6'5" forward. The only accolade he missed out on was a championship, having retired in 1971, the year before the Lakers won their first LA title. After his career, he coached for a brief time before becoming general manager of the Crosstown Clippers, a position he held for 22 seasons before leaving in a bitter split
with then-owner Donald Sterling. Baylor was elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1977, with the Lakers retiring his number in 1983. His influence continues to endure in today's players, creating their own versions of Flash in the slipstream Baylor created all those decades ago.
Yeah, Baylor had a very large trophy case. He was an 11-time All-Star, first-team All-NBA 10 times, Rookie of the Year in 1959. He was an All-Star Game MVP, a Final Four Most Outstanding Player, excelled in the front office, put together some talented Clipper teams, won Executive of the Year in 2006. And for more on his illustrious career and reaction from around the NBA, we welcome in David Pingalore. And Ping, you know, Elgin Baylor, he was the LeBron, the Kobe of his time.
He certainly was. And if there's young people out there that have never seen him play, obviously there's videos all over YouTube. He was one of the greats. And if you do come down to Staples Center every so often, you will see his statue just outside of Staples Center. As the Clippers played the Atlanta Hawks tonight, prior to the game, first thing was about the passing of Elgin Baylor from the head coach, Ty Lue of the Clippers.
A great pioneer, a Hall of Famer, a gentleman who paved the way for, Black players like myself to play, Black executives as well. So I just want to send thoughts and prayers out to his family and friends.
A wonderful, wonderful man who played a game that at the time nobody could handle. He was really fun to watch.
I spent a lot of time with him over the years, and to me, he's probably the most underrated great basketball player of all time. And it was an honor, a privilege to be around him, but he always carried himself with great dignity and respect.
And keeping the NCAA tournament theme going, in 1958, he led Seattle University to the Final Four, Darren, where he was named the most outstanding player. Certainly a very sad day around the NBA and the sports world.
Yeah, sad indeed. He left us with so many great moments. Thank you very much, David Pingalore, reporting from Staples Center. There was a comment by Jeannie Buss, the Lakers governor, releasing the following statement, saying in part, Elgin was the superstar of his era. His many accolades speak to that. He is one of the all-time Laker greats, with his number 22 jersey retired in the rafters and his statue standing guard in front of Staples Center. He will always be part of the Lakers' legacy. And then there is his former teammate, Jerry West, who said in part, he was one of the most gifted and special players the game will ever see, and who has never gotten his just due for what he accomplished on the court. We share the joy of winning and the heartbreaking losses during the finals. He was a prince both on and off the court. Reggie, you grew up watching Elgin Baylor. What was it like here in Los Angeles to turn on the tube and see him in action?
Well, he first of all, he's one of those guys that was so soft-spoken and somebody that you could talk to, and he was always saying encouraging words. When he was around Jerry West, I used to sneak into the Forum and watch those guys play. And he was surrounded by so many great players, and really never got his just due. People really didn't understand. He was one of the first really, truly athletic small forwards, and he could score from a lot of different places. He had the jumpers, he could take it to the basket, he could dunk on you. It was just so many things. And remember that he was the first one. He scored 71 points in the game. People, if you use that as a trivia question, they would think that Wilt Chamberlain was the first one that did that, but it was really Elgin Baylor.
He scored 61 points in a finals game, which is still a record that stands today. He was a great one.
But we're celebrating.
Yeah.
He gave us a good run, man.
Yeah, he gave us so many great moments here in the city of Los Angeles. Still to come, we will continue our show. Elgin Baylor was 86 years old, and we'll continue our show right after the break. Welcome back. Clippers hosting the Hawks with won 8 straight, coming back from a 22-point deficit. Luke Kennard at the third quarter buzzer, and he banks it in from half court. So now they're down 1, under 3 minutes left. Terrence Mann hits the wide open three-pointer to take the lead. Kennard was scoring. He was dishing it out. Finds Marcus Morris for the corner 3. Clippers up 5. Final minute up 6. Kawhi Leonard. Dagger time. Step back 3. Clippers complete the comeback, 119-110. NCAA women's tourney. Bruins tipping off against Wyoming. UCLA jumped right on them. Michaela Onyenwere lines up the 3. Bruins took a 10-point lead, and then check out this spin move and fadeaway from the baseline. Yeah, she dropped 25 as the 3 seed. The Bruins cruised to a 69-48 victory. All right, Reg, we got an embarrassment of riches here. We got SC and UCLA. Who goes further?
Who goes further? That's actually really tough, but they have different roads because UCLA plays Alabama, and Alabama's pretty good. But UCLA's on a run, man, so you never know. That's the great thing about March Madness. And when you think about what could potentially happen, look at the brackets that are up there.
Tough bracket.
It's a tough bracket. They have the toughest bracket, by the way. And then, when you think about what could potentially happen if UCLA beats Alabama, it doesn't end there because then potentially they're going to have to play Michigan.
What about SC and their road?
Yeah. Well, they play against Oregon, okay, and they beat Oregon once already. So it's something that is, we're looking at it and we go, okay, but listen to this. USC could end up playing Gonzaga, and I think that's a great matchup for USC. The USC is long. They're defensive-minded. They have offense, but exactly what's going on. Gonzaga, best on offense. USC, best on defense.
All right, for Reggie Theus, I'm Darren Horton. We will see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.